Hello, BookTube, and welcome to your Daily Penguin. This is a video I didn't think I'd be able to make today, but this is our ongoing crawl through my Penguin Classic wall. And we are in the ancient world. We are still mucking around in the ancient world, and Lord knows we could stay in the ancient world a lot longer than we actually will stay. A couple of you have pointed out, and some friends of mine have pointed out long before I did YouTube, looking at my penguin wall, friends have pointed out, boy, you could have 3 times as many titles from the ancient world as you do. That's true. But nevertheless, we're still in the ancient world, and we've been popping all around in time. We've been popping around between the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Hebrews, the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks, and today we are in ancient Greece. We are in the world of Greek mythology at its wellspring, at one of its well springs. This is the 3rd century BC, and this is Apollonius. This is Apollonius of Rhodes. This is the Penguin Classic of Jason and the Argonauts. Apollonius was a poet and a scholar. This is in poetic. This is in Homeric verse. He was extremely well versed in Homer, but he also was well versed in a few other authors that we've seen on this March of the Penguins. He knew his Herodotus backwards and forwards. He knew his Xenophon backwards and forwards. He tried to ground his epic poem in as much stuff as he could, and that's what this is. This is an epic poem that is basically a Justice League of America adventure of superheroes. It's a young man named Jason who is tasked with retrieving a sacred item called the Golden Fleece. He has to go through all sorts of perils to do it, and to face those perils, he assembles a crew of luminaries, of worthy men, worthy warriors, but also women, and a warrior woman named Atalanta, and his infamous Medea, and also Hercules, and the sons of the North Wind who can fly, and Orpheus, whose lyre can command inanimate objects, and a whole bunch of other people. It's a teen book. And it's amazing, absolutely amazing. It is so much fun. It is serious, and it can be somber, and it is at times beautiful. I have never seen an English language translation that really does the beauty, and you can sort of get telegraphed by this. This is a translation by Aaron Puchigian, and you can sort of get telegraphed by the title here. Jason and the Argonauts is very much a Ray Harryhausen kind of title, and you can get telegraphed by that to sense that maybe this is going to be a little more knockabout than it is sublime, and that's okay, because that's mostly what Apollonius is going for. I think his main goal was to tell a rip-snorting story, and he does. This is just terrific. This is a Penguin Classic I can wholeheartedly recommend. It's actually a classic of the ancient world that I can wholeheartedly recommend. It's full of shot and incident, and it's also full of character, of something that comes close to what we would consider in the modern era to be 3-dimensional, well-rounded characters. Which, for all I love the literature of the ancient world, that is comparatively rare, and it's all through this book. Apollonius took all sorts of liberties with his mythological texts and whatnot, and it really pays off. It really does. I don't know of a single dramatic incident in this poem that doesn't pay off. Sometimes poets' reach exceeds their grasp, but not in this case. And I can recommend this Penguin Classic. It is very well done, and the introduction is by Benjamin Acosta Hughes, and it's also very good. But I also want to recommend, while I have your attention, one other version of Jason and the Argonauts, because this book is actually called the Argonautica, and this is a fantastic edition of the Argonautica. It's by the great classicist Peter Green. This is the University of California Press. As you can see, it's much bigger, and that's because of the critical apparatus. Green doesn't just translate the poem. He gives you a vast critical apparatus so that you can understand everything there is to know about it. Now, the critical apparatus in the Penguin is very good, but this is meant to be exhaustive. This is meant to be not so much for freshmen, for undergraduates in college who are taking a Mythology 101 class, or the Ancients 101, but for more advanced study. This is the final word, I think, in English on Apollonius. So I wanted to recommend it as well. I'll try not to do that too often, because the March of the Penguins is 4 Penguin Classics. And I don't mean it as a slight to this book, because this volume is, if this was the only Argonautica that you had, it would definitely be good enough. So that is your Daily Penguin for today. Pure entertainment that has been adapted into novel form, into epic poem form in modern times a million times. A million times. There are so many things going on in this story that it has been just a siren call. To novelists especially, I myself have read probably 35 novelizations of Jason and the Argonauts. So I don't understand why we mention Ray Harryhausen. I don't understand why in the era of modern Hollywood there has not been a giant successful blockbuster of this story. I don't understand that. Maybe there has been and I've missed it, but I don't think so. Instead we get sort of anodyne mishmashes like Clash of the Titans instead of a good, a heartfelt adaptation of this thing with a cast of thousands. Anyway, maybe it'll happen. But one way or another, your Daily Penguin for today is a recommendation, and a fun one to do too. So I'm going to wrap this up, and we will be back hopefully tomorrow. If we miss a Daily Penguin tomorrow, then we'll be back on Monday. Thank you, BookTube.